Hello and welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you to everyone who has joined me already. I really couldn't run this channel without you, and my signature Bob is back. Welcome back, Bobby. Some of you have asked my thoughts on the rumours that Ncuti Gatwa has been fired from Doctor Who after the Mr. H video. Now, I'm not going to rain on the parade of Mr. H, so I've linked that video below for you to go and watch it for yourself. Now, I did try to do some digging into this, and I could only find one thing that didn't really slander Mr. H himself and just focused on what was said in the video. Now, I was originally going to do that, but then Will of the Fans covered it, so I have linked that video below as well because I don't want to rain on his parade either. And I no longer have a contact at the BBC, so I didn't really know where to go with this video. I was thinking, how could I cover this? And I think I will go based off my experience and knowledge within the entertainment industry and how it works. I did try and look up some policies on equity and BBC to see if there was anything specific to do with behavior on set. I really couldn't find anything of the sorts. There are a few bits here and there, but nothing that I think that would be significant to report on this channel. And I think in many respects that a lot of this that is going to be said here today would just be more common sense than anything else. And the policies that come with the film set will be defined and laid out, I think, within the actual taping that they do and the processes that they go through in order to make Doctor Who. Now, first, I will say that there may be some truth in what Mr. H is saying. Of course, do remember this is rumours. Take it with a pinch of salt. But do you remember that I made a video about the San Diego Comic-Con quite a while back now? Well, I made a point of how Ncuti was looking over at RTD in this video, and he was hesitant about his answers. Well, in addition to that, even though I didn't include it in that video, I later thought that he actually didn't look very comfortable whenever he did that. And I also saw another interview, which I also didn't actually include in that video because I think I found it after, now that I think about it. And it was just Ncuti and Millie, and the body language was very different. So let's take a look at both of these clips. We'll have a look at the San Diego Comic-Con first, and then we'll have a look at the other one.
We get so much help as well in terms of like previews. The incredible teams come together and show us like the vision of what we're going to create, which helps a lot because otherwise, it's just imagination. You're just imagining a massive dog god.
Now, it could just be that this is the fact that RTD himself may be very controlling in this situation. And Ncuti did run his mouth a little bit before. That is not, a secret. We read it. We saw it happen open before our very eyes. In actual fact, a lot of the actors this series had a habit of doing that. But also it's not uncommon for a producer perhaps to be very controlling, or even actually a showrunner to be extremely controlling. It is, after all, their project. It is what they really want it to be, what they envisioned, and it's the actor's job to bring it to life. So there will be some degree of control within the hierarchy. Now let's take a look at the next video.
They know it better than us. I was nervous to go into that hall.
Completely different. I've linked both of those videos below for you to actually go and take a look for yourself. Go and watch them. There's also another video from Variety where if you watch what they're saying and their body language and how they are, it's very, very interesting. So just go and watch that. I've linked that below as well. I've not included it in here because of time, and Variety like to copyright claim, and that's fine. It is their video after all. Now, one of the things that Mr. H was saying was that Ncuti was allegedly talking to children. So let's address that. Now, Ncuti will most likely have signed something called an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement. That means that he nor anyone else can discuss it. and it can also be known as a DND, a do not discuss. Now, please remember, of course, they are rumors, and if he is talking to children, even if he is not talking about Doctor Who, this could potentially go against the terms and conditions of his contract. The last time I was on a set, we were not allowed to talk to members of the public if we were filming. Now, if this is true, it may be that Ncuti believes that he is actually doing a fan service by going up and talking to the children, but it still shouldn't be happening on set because you might let something slip. There are rules and protocols that they need to follow. PR is everything in this case. And we also know that RTD had reprimanded Ncuti for swearing whilst in the Doctor's costume. So we know that things are not particularly great. You know, he's been pulled up for a couple of things already. Let's read it. However, when filming the show, the actor was told off for using some colourful language while in costume. By the way, this article is linked below. After the fact, Ncuti revealed showrunner Russell T Davies pulled him aside for a chat. The only time I've ever gotten into trouble for anything was when I swore while wearing a doctor costume. I got called into Russell's office. Woo. And he let me know that's not acceptable. He said, do what you want when you're out of costume, but when you're in costume, do not let us catch you swearing, he added when speaking to The Sun. Okay, so I actually think that's a fair remark. He is, of course, making a family show, and if people are standing around watching and they see the hero swearing, that's not going to be a good look. So, of course, this hints at the potential fact that there may be arguments that went on behind the scenes. And we do know that another actor had issues with RTD, Christopher Eccleston, as well. So maybe this news, these rumors, aren't that surprising at all. And Mr. H also said there were rumors about Ncuti smoking. I've never known a TV set or a film set to allow smoking in this day and age. Of course, you know, if you are smoking as part of a character, that is different. They tend to give you a herbal cigarette that doesn't contain any form of nicotine, from what I can understand, because I don't do smoking characters very often because I don't like it. So if he was doing that, then it will go against the policies and regulations. I've also worked in places where smoking in costume is 100% prohibited, and others where the smokers or vapors were required to wear their own coats over their costume and not be anywhere near the sets at all, or anybody else who was actually wearing a costume behind the scenes. Mr. H also mentions that Ncuti is apparently, this is just to remember, going back to his trailer in between takes, and that he's being called on to set when he's needed for a take. Now, you can do that, especially if you're waiting for longer than expected. However, we can also wait off to the side with the crew. And the good thing about doing that is then you can speak to them, learn a bit about what they do and things like that. And there's also a communal area where we can wait as well, generally. The last time I was on a set, we had a communal double-decker bus. Mr. H also said that Ncuti has left season 2 to do a theatre show. We know that series 2 has been filmed and left open-ended from what we can understand. However, Disney nor the BBC have actually confirmed further series, and to be honest with you, I think Disney are making the BBC wait because of the poor ratings. But obviously, we will find out in the future. But there's going to be a gap now, that is for sure. If I remember correctly, and I tried to look this up, but for some reason I couldn't find it. But maybe that was just me in a haze of being tired from work. I do write these videos whilst I'm at work because I have no time to write them at home. He was only signed for 2 series, and he has completed that contract. Now, we don't know the ins and outs of the contract, but there is a chance that it may be that Ncuti can go and do theatre if it's not stipulated within that contract that he needs to wait for a certain amount of time before his next commitment. Now, that does sound a bit bonkers, right? That doesn't sound fair or anything like that, but these contracts, or types of these contracts, actually do exist, and Ncuti is in a position where he wouldn't actually starve if he had that type of contract. It's kind of like an example is that thereof, you know, they can all vary from contract to contract as to what the information says, but a good example of this would be commercials. So for example, if I did a commercial for a jeweler, then it'll be written into my contract that I can't do a commercial for a different jeweler for something like 18 months, maybe 24 months, sometimes even longer, depending on how long they are using this commercial for. Now, when that happens, they pay you enough money to buy you out for that amount of time. Now, this, of course, would be rarer with TV contracts, but it could be a possibility. However, in the chances that it's not the case and there's nothing confirmed, then he's actually free to go and take a theatre job should he wish to. And he did actually say he was planning on doing that. If Ncuti has been bought out of his contract, then I agree that Disney may very well buy him back in. You know what they are like with their DEI at the moment. And I can also see the, theory of Tyler Fayose being brought in as well. And also he has worked, for the BBC. He knows how to behave and act on set with the decorum that he should actually be expected of. And to be honest with you, it is just common sense at the end of the day. But do remember, please actually treat all of this as rumor. But I hope that gives you a little bit of insight from an industry perspective, just in case it does turn out to be true. Right now, after everything that has happened with the BBC, their PR stance and how they are looked and perceived is going to be paramount to them, and everyone will be under a very watchful eye of scrutiny right now with the broadcaster, and it will take the smallest incident to bring people down. And we all know that RTD likes a bit of drama. He thinks that it is good PR in many respects. Well, that's just me saying that. I'm assuming that. Look at what happened with Millie Gibson, though. I don't think that was very fair. That's it from me today. But before you go, please can you comment on the pinned comment below, because I will be away for 3 weeks. So I am taking suggestions as to what you would actually like to see from me whilst I'm gone. And you never know, it might get made into a video. Let me know what you think. Chat about it. Don't shout about it. Like the video if you would like to. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.